Alright guys, this is my first video here on my trading channel. I want to help you guys to get an edge in the market and actually perform better or improve. I'm in this for years now, but profitable since 6 months, 8 months, and yeah, let's get this together. Once you're profitable, you will realize pretty quickly um, that there's so much you can do wrong, but there's also a lot you can do right. So what I'm using here is Sierra charts, and you're gonna need to use Sierra charts. There's a couple of platforms. I'm trading futures, so for futures I really recommend Sierra chart, but you can also use NinjaTrader, Quantower. I don't really recommend trading futures with something like MetaTrader just because you won't have access to a lot of tools I'm using here. So what tools of I'm using here? Um, I'm using the market profile. I'm using intraday chart with some VWAP structure over here. And I also look a little bit at cumulative delta, but that's just additional. And I got some, usually mainly trade from levels. I draw in here, but these levels I take from other charts, mostly higher time frames, and that's how I trade basically. So if you want to trade futures, it's best to focus on a strategy that helps you to trade from the edges, so you could get your edge from the edges. You don't want to trade in the middle of something because there's gonna be a lot of chops. So you could start with a fading strategy, just fade from some levels. You could take these levels from an intraday chart, from higher time frames, from the market profile. This is all stuff that works, but there's no holy grail. So I'm trading gold, crude oil, NQ, sometimes ES. You can trade one market, you can trade a few markets. For the most beginners, I would recommend focus on one market at first, get profitable at that market, and then you could look for other niches at other markets. So the most important thing is to find one niche that works for you and stick to that niche. Why don't you try trading from some levels? So you would only enter at a certain level, and in the beginning maybe focus on having a fixed stop loss and having a fixed target. But I mean that in terms of risk to reward ratio. So I wouldn't recommend using something like 10 ticks always as a stop loss, or 5 ticks or 20 ticks. That's not going to be very beneficial because the markets are changing. Sometimes there's more volume in the markets, they fluctuate. Sometimes there's less, and sometimes stop losses with 10 or 5 ticks will never work because the market is just too choppy, is moving too much during that day. So you gotta stay dynamic and adapt your stop losses and therefore your size to the volatility of the market during that day. So that's what I'm using. That's my first video here. I'm gonna do a lot of videos on strategy, psychology, getting your stats right, analyzing your stats, having a journal, which is so essential, finding your niche, comparing your niche to other niches, backtesting your niche, all the stats that are of importance, when to trade, when not to trade. Basically, getting a trading plan. You should never trade without having a trading plan. I know most people do, but most people you see out there, they're just gambling. Actually, it has nothing to do with trading. So first thing you want to have is getting a trading plan, sticking to the trading plan, sticking to one thing until you get that thing to a profitable status, and then you can do more. But most traders are trapped in that cycle of permanently permanently changing their strategies. So yeah, find your niche first and then go from there, and see you in the next one.